grammar school on the 11 plus, and she went on from living as a daughter of a grocer to study chemistry at Oxford, and from there went on to become who was thought as the greatest Prime Minister of modern times. She went from grocer's daughter to Prime Minister. My report is not so dramatic, but I think the greatest report someone can give of their school is that they enjoyed their education. And I'm still in graduate contact with about 20 people I met over 20 years ago. That each of the pupils has demonstrated certain qualities by passing 11 plus caused the teachers at the school to have high expectations of them, and they drove the pupils to just take interest in the subject, to perform. This was shared by the parents also, and the greatest support a child can have is by having parents who are enthusiastic for their education. And I actually went to one of the parents from at the grammar school. It was their 70th birthday I went to the other day. And at these schools, the national curriculum is seen as a minimum, as that's where you start from, and then they add more subjects on top. And I was taught 4 languages, with French, bonjour, Spanish, hola, Latin, salve, and German, hello. 4 crafts with art, pottery, metalwork, and woodwork. And I played 5 sports: rugby, hockey, athletics, swimming, and football every lunchtime for others from my year. That caused plenty of washing for my mum with muddy knees and things. With such an intense timetable, and the school day being a working day from 8:45 to 4:30, the school helped their charges concentrate on their work by helping them burn off any excess energy. We had 90 minutes of contact sport each week during 2 of the 3 terms. That developed a real competitive spirit among the year. 2 of my friends are investment bankers, one in New York, one in Hong Kong. One is onto setting up his second business, several others their first. Some are qualified lawyers and accountants, and many more are in good positions in the industry, manufacturing and servicing. So the grammar school was very challenging. It was very intense, but there was great camaraderie there. It was fun. The people supported each other, and the teachers were familiar with everyone, so we noticed if there was need for support and give them that. There was also the option to Duke of Edinburgh or the Cadet Forces, and yeah, the sports helped really the students all bind together and develop teamwork and soft skills that good sports schools can do. And what's good about them with grammar schools, it's been argued with increasing concern about levels of craft and discipline that grammar schools, by integrating more able, will provide a safe environment for them to learn. To demonstrate this, in 2006, pupils in England's 164 grammar schools produced more than half the total number of A-grade A-levels in harder A-level subject than those produced by the 2,000 comprehensive schools. So 150 grammar schools produced more than half the total number of A-level A grades compared to 2,000 comprehensive schools. Grammar schools provide opportunity for pupils from lesser income families who quite reasonably may not be able to afford to pay public school fees to gain a high standard of education. Oxbridge intake from state schools had decreased since grammars were abolished, and studies show social mobility has decreased. And that's what grammar schools originally were. Grammar schools, a lot of them developed into public schools. Eton was originally a grammar school, but that changed into a public school. And if you can't afford a public school, then a grammar school is a great alternative. Recognising their status as a selective school, they push their pupils to study 10 GCSEs and 4 A-levels to develop their pupils' character, as making their knowledge be as sure as they are, over 2 or 3 hours of sport a week, with lots of team games against other schools on Saturdays. I play rugby during the winter months anyway, 2-3 times a week for 90 minutes at least. So they kept you fit and they burnt off any excess energy. And in 2015, a report by the Sutton Trust of the top 100 schools for obtaining university entry, 83 are independent schools, 16 grammar schools, and only 1 was a faith-based comprehensive. And the 16 grammar schools and the faith-based comprehensive, that's not selective. If you can pass 11 plus, you can get into those schools without having to pay the fees of independent schools, which can be up to £20,000 a year. So they're very good value as well. And looking deeper into this report, what's clear is it doesn't matter the composition of the school, social, economic or cultural diversity, the people who went to grammar school came out with great results and a strong life chances. So what's happened recently in politics, in the haste to have the education system without selection and to avoid the bog standard comprehensive, as Tony Blair called them, the Labour government introduced academies, now the Conservative government introduced free schools. and they have got very good reports. Saying Croydon is blessed with the academies that got up in Crystal Palace and also throughout in South Croydon and in Central Croydon. To avoid selection by exam, there is selection by postcode, and Croydon is very blessed in this way because there are loads of good academies and free schools around. But there is also called the Wilson's Grammar School, which is just south of Croydon, where pupils are expected to study 10 subjects. And in the recent year, every pupil passed all 10 GCSEs, with 2/3 having 5 or more A-star grades. That is the grammar school that is near you. You can get into that if you pass 11 plus. If you take the 11 plus score, that deadline for 2016 has passed, but will around August 2017 for next time. The 11 plus exam contests up to 4 disciplines: verbal reasoning, non-verbal reasoning, maths and English. Now, verbal reasoning is believed to be an effective way of testing a child's potential, not their knowledge. Nascent intelligence is what they're looking for, potential. And to find something comparable to verbal reasoning would be something like crosswords, word searches, word games, jigsaws, or Sudoku. Non-verbal reasoning is designed to test a child's ability to work out problems, regardless of their knowledge of English. So you're working out like patterns of words, where there are 3 and patterns of shapes and things. Not looking to know what the answer is, just looking to know what the next in the series would turn out. In conclusion, living in the UK at this time, you are blessed with having greatly improved and greatly improving education system at secondary level. Your choice is between what school is best for your child, not which school is the least worst. The hierarchy is independent schools, grammar schools, then academies and free schools. This isn't to say there aren't some brilliant high schools, just the odds are less. There will be the exceptions to this generic understanding. Try to be excited rather than daunted. The reforms in education since the turn of the century have resulted in you having a far greater choice of what school your child attends. It used to be there would be a school for your postcode and you didn't have a choice. But this generation is the first to have any choice. When it comes down to it, those children lucky enough to have stable and supportive home lives are at an advantage. May God's grace lead you to great success. And do you have any questions at all?
Hello, bro, Brian.
When must get into grammar school?
Sorry? Sorry, repeat that, please.
So's got a question.
Bro, Brian, how are you? Pastor here.
Very well, Pastor, thank you.
Okay. So you were saying that now in this generation we are in, you're not tied down to postcode. So I missed that last bit.
Oh, no, sorry. It used to be where your postcode was, there was one high school you could send your children to. But that's not the case anymore with the various reforms. You've got your free schools, you've got your academies, and you have your existing, you've got your grammar schools and your high schools. So parents have a greater choice. I know in Croydon there's an academy in South Croydon, an academy in Central Croydon, and an academy in Crystal Palace. So depending where your postcode is, you have a greater selection. It's not just one high school. You will have another choice as to the academy school. There aren't any free schools in Croydon, but there is the grammar school in Wilson's and a grammar school in Wallington as well, which will be open to applications if you have the 11 plus, Pastor.
Okay, so 11 plus for grammar schools.
Yeah.
And then so you said the hierarchy is the grammar schools first, then the independent schools, then the academies, and then the not public, what do you call them, state schools.
Yeah. No, sorry, Pastor, the other way, because independent schools have access to a vast number of resources and they can pay their teachers an awful lot more, so they tend to attract. So the independent schools, then the grammar schools, then the academies, free schools, and then high schools.
Okay.
But with
So the academies are better than the state schools.
Sorry,
the
high school. Yes, they are.
Okay. Okay, and but to get into the free schools, the academies, and the state schools is the same procedure. You also apply through your primary school. you. That's independent school. What do you do? Independent.
Sorry, say that again, please. It's snapping the signal.
Sorry. So what do you need to do in the independent schools?
The independent schools are quite blessed with that as well, because you've got Trinity, you've got Royal Russell, and you've got Whitgift. You need to go to their websites and make direct application to them. And
Okay.
you will have some quite detailed and intensive exams to go through, and then an interview. And if you pass all those, and they see your see your mindset of the interview, they will accept you. But the fees are quite high. I think they're sort of £6,000 to £8,000 per term. So that's 3 times a year.
Wow. So it's about let's say per month about £2,000 to £3,000 a month.
It's getting along that way, yes, Pastor.
Thank you. All right. And then the scholarships. Do you know anything about scholarships?
Yes, all those schools, independent schools, they have the charities by law, and they're run by the Charities Commission. And because of that, they have to perform a charitable function. And the way they do that is by having scholarships on offer, which, again, all those 3 schools, Whitgift, Royal Russell, and Trinity, they do have scholarships available. But you don't know if you've got a scholarship when you apply. You have to apply, get into the school, and then apply for a scholarship. So you need to be confident of your ability to pay before you make the application, because you may not get the scholarship. But then again, you can still apply to these other schools alongside the independent schools. And if you're not successful in the independent schools, you will have a state school to fall back on, an academy, a free school, or a grammar school.
Wow, well done. Thank you very much. That's very, very enlightening.
Thank you, Pastor. God bless you.
Brother Brian,
Yes.
in Trinity, there are scholarships. If you have a child who is the charities, you can get up to even 0%. You will not pay a fee, like it will be 0, because if you have a child that does like maybe plays piano, you can get that scholarship. If you have a child who does swimming, they get it. So when we went there, we had one parent saying that it's like 10% of each charities. So if your child is like in multi games, like multi sports, or has a lot of talents, then all these sponsorships, all these charities can come together, and then so you can get 10%. And then if you want to, maybe without that too, if let's say, example, Kingsley is in year 5, Kingsley can take the 11 years plus exams whilst he's in year 5.
Okay.
So when he passes the exams, and there's a grade that they're looking for, if the child is able to achieve that grade, he or she can get a scholarship as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So what they said was there's no harm in trying. So let's say I can let Kingsley try in January, which I'm going to do. Okay. So if Kingsley is able to achieve that grade, then he can get a scholarship, the sponsorship. But if he doesn't, then he can go for the SATs. At least he can go for the SATs and see how he can get maybe the SATs, and then try to get him to do like a lot of activities so he can get through that with that as well.
With your support, Sister Paulina, that is the greatest blessing a child can have when going through these changes in school, to see that their parent is interested in them achieving more and more and more. That support is what will push them on to achieve great things wherever they are. It's because it's parental responsibility. A lot of them in England in the 20th century, when we had state schools put in, parents said, "Oh, oh, I'm sending my child to state school, the government will educate my child, I don't need to do anything. And that is why it's been said that white English working class children are the worst performing, because that section of society just said, oh, it's okay, the government's educating my child. That's why I've been quite inspired by the Sound Mind School, and also a lot of the parents that generally in the Christ Embassy Church, is because they're interested in their children performing and going on to greater things. And with that support, that will make the difference in their lives.
Yeah, it's true. It's 100% true. And then when you get to Trinity too, the students, about 70% of them are the white population. And what we're saying, that it looks really, really sad that when you look at it, the other children, like Asians and black children, they do very well in schools, but their parents don't push them.
Yes.
And that's the thing. But we met this young guy who he was in year 7 when we went, but he said he started year 6 there. So it means he took the exams when he was 5 years old. So I asked him, are you on scholarship? He said yes. I said, how did you get it? And then he said his mom pushed him. He doesn't watch TV from Monday to Friday. He only watch TV weekends, and the weekends too. Not only TV, he have to do some work before TV, and it's like constantly. So Kingsley was standing there with him. I was so excited, and he said, now before he thought his mom was on his case, but now he realized that whatever the mom was doing, it has benefited him, because he's in a very good school. And when you go to that school, it's fantastic.
Oh,
they have, when you have, even at home, when you have every resources around you, the child, your upbringing and your growing up becomes excellent. So the same way the school, they've got there's no facilities that they don't need. They need that they will not get there. Everything, their lab, everything is on point.
That's what I found. Sorry, that's what I found when I was at grammar school, because it's selective. All the people that pass the exams tend to mean that the teachers at the school, the pupils and the parents were quite focused on the experience of getting good education.
Yes, it's wonderful. That all the children, you can see that they are disciplined, the way they even talk, the way they even walk. There's no way when you take one of them to go and stand in Cambridge or Oxford that they will not offer them. It's they say the ethos of the school is when you enter the school.
Yeah.
Then when you enter the school, so as soon as you enter there, you can see straight away. It's fantastic. And then Dulwich College as well. We went there. That is also excellent school. And they have like in the assembly hall, you can see that they've listed like all the people that went to Oxford, Cambridge. They're all like on their walls today. I think it's Thickness always says that they will do, and the child even as he said he's 11 years old, and he's 11-year-old. He told Kingsley, he says it's not just about what the teachers teach you or what the extra classes you do. The efforts have to be you, and then your parents need to push you more. That's what the child was saying. So he says I need to push Kingsley more, and he told Kingsley, no matter how much I push him too, he needs to do more academic work as well. So as the Knazoli keeps saying, that the parents needs to support more and push. So when they give them like their assignments, how many parents sit there and do the work with the children? Because they might do it, but they might get mistaken. So as much as Sound Mind team is there supporting, we the parents have to back them, and everything that they put down, we need to like look into it and research it, because there's no harm in, you won't lose anything, you don't have to pay anything to research it, and it's wonderful. If it's not Sound Mind, we thank Pastor for this initiative and everything, because I know I wanted my children to